is Princess.
And I'm Evie.
And we're bringing you the good,
the bad, and the ugly.
So today, we're talking about a big topic that a lot of people in their household really just don't like talking about. And that is the difference between abuse
and discipline.
So let's get straight to the point. So I'm a mother of 3. And I always grew up with discipline. Sometimes my parents used to talk to me, or my grandmother used to talk to me. And then sometimes, you know, when it was some issues, I used to get spanked. It never lead into a situation where I felt harmful, that my parents was going to go ahead and do anything. It always was something that I knew I did something and they were trying to discipline me. I know that some people will say, well, why don't you talk to your kids? The thing is, I do talk to my kids, but at the same time, talking can go so far, okay? For instance, my 5-year-old son. My 5-year-old son is very active. There is some things where he likes to hit other people, especially when he was in school. He used to try to hit little girls, hit little boys. I had to always leave work all the time, and it was a big concern. It was a big issue, especially for as being a single mother. Let's just be honest, I'm a single parent. So every time I leave work, that is money that is down the drain. And you know, as many times that I talked to my son, nothing was really getting clear to him. So of course I had to use, you know, one of the discipline, which was spanking. I know most people frown on it, and it's not something that I do often, but it is something that I have to let him know, like, hey, I'm not trying to put my hands on you, but when it gets there, it is a reason why I'm disciplining you. And I also talk to him while I'm disciplining him as well. I try to always let my kids know the reason why I'm disciplining them. I'm just not going to go ahead and just, you know, hit them for whatever reason. But at the same time, I have to know for myself when enough is enough. Because there is a thing where you're going overboard. And my son, at the age of 5, he is still little. So, you know, that is for me. When I discipline my kids and me growing up, I feel like I turned out fine. But I'm probably with you, because I know we live 2 different lives, you know. Yep. We have 2 different families, so a lot of things was totally different of how you was raised and how I was raised.
Yeah, it was. I was also disciplined when I was younger. My mom did. She disciplined us, but she also talked. She talked a lot. She did spoil us, so me and all my siblings, we are spoiled, but she did talk. I remember us always getting whoopings for things like not cleaning up the house because she worked 12 hours and we just was stuck in the house, so we messed it up. I remember there was a can of paint I came across in the house one day because they were repainting the walls green, and I decided to try to help, and I knocked the can over. I got in trouble for that. I don't particularly remember the spanking or the whooping, but like I said, my mom talked a lot more than whooped, and that is what I've been doing as well as a parent. I talk more, I try to understand them more instead of just straight out whooping them. But sometimes, you know, sometimes even when you don't want to discipline them and you're so tired because you're working and you just want them just to understand and act right. Just be like, dude, I don't like whooping you. You don't like the whooping. Can we compromise here? And sometimes you just can't compromise because they'll take that for weakness, and then they'll run off with it, and then they'll say, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm not gonna do it again, and then they turn around and do it again, and you're just like, okay, okay. And so eventually you got to get up and you just got to be the disciplinarian, and you have to, because if you don't, it'll get to a point where they'll think that they can run you, and then they'll get bigger than you, and then that's when all hell will break loose, and then you won't have any control over them. I know, particularly with my oldest son, I felt so bad about a lot of things that we went through, just me and him. And he showed signs of anger and resentment and everything. And I felt like I owed him something. And I always would try to make up for the past with things, or let him get away with certain with certain things, and then he started taking that for weakness. So I had to start being tougher and being more of a disciplinarian, you know, talking, but knowing when to spank and when not to spank, when to talk and to spank. Or, I mean, even me and Princess, we have disciplined our kids as far as making them do, like, exercises, squats, you know, push-ups. You know, it doesn't always have to lead to a spanking, but in certain situations, it gets to that point where you have to spank.
And I remember one time, like, it was a situation, I mean, there was a situation where her son, I think she was out that day, and I let the kids play outside. And they start throwing rocks at the cars. And, you know, I don't have the kind of cash, or nor do she, because during that time she was pregnant with baby Elena. And we don't have the cash to fork out if the kid's gonna break somebody else's window. And, you know, my son, my daughter, and her son was outside. And, you know, even though my daughter didn't do anything, I had to punish them all. And yes, that called for, you know, a spank. But the thing is this is not something that you're supposed to do. For me, I believe in disciplining the child before they even can talk. And when I mean that, and please understand, I don't mean like your 1-year-old start whooping them. I'm talking about letting them know, hey, this is not something that you're supposed to do. No, you cannot always get candy. You always take a cookie. There has to be rules. There have to be rules. And because when that kid transitions to being in school, it makes it very hard for the teachers. It start making it hard for everyone that deals with your child. I completely do not condone in abuse. I do not. Abuse for me is putting bruises on that child, starving the child, like all of that. I think when people breaking bones, anything that harm them. I mean, also my discipline consists on the last time, you know, her son was talking back, and I had him clean the whole yard. I told him to clean the whole yard. Like, there's rules and regulations. There's discipline. Discipline can be a lot of things, but I think a lot of people get discipline and abuse confused. They put it together. And so then it's like, okay, so when my child act up, or when my child goes ahead and breaks stuff, who are you coming to? Who are you going to talk to? You know, if my son goes and beat a kid, you know, then my kids are on the news, or my kids is arrested for something.
Or they look at you crazy in the grocery store because your kid is falling out and having a fit. Like, what do you think disciplining is for? Is to keep that child in check. It's not to take away their personality or their personal thoughts or change them as a human being. It's to get them to understand there are consequences to your actions.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to have a delinquent as a parent. That's not what I'm about to do. That's not what I'm raising my children to be, as delinquents in society. So yes, just like if they go steal a car, the consequences for them to go to jail most likely, or pay a fine, or whatever it is that discipline is, that's what they will have to deal with. So it's better for them to learn now that the world don't revolve around you. You're not going to get away with certain things. So please don't believe that disciplining and abuse is the same thing. It's not the same.
And it's not. And so what we want to wrap up on this video to let you guys know is we understand a lot of things. A lot of parents do a lot of things, and we try to incorporate it as well. But as single parents, we have to live as the father and the mother at the same time. And I really want to leave on this video, because we want to wrap it up, is that there is no right or wrong. Only time when it's wrong is when that child is, you're mentally abusing that child, you're physically abusing that, and that is something that I will not tolerate at all. But as mothers, especially single parents, we have to do whatever we have to do to make sure that our young ones understand that you will respect me, but I also will respect you if respect is given both ways. And I will love you regardless, because you're my child. But also, you will not abuse me or hurt me as well. So I hope that you like our video.
Yes.
Please like, subscribe, comment.
Hit the notification bell.
Absolutely. And we got another video coming out. So there's going to be videos back to back. So thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.